fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The new cabinet taking shape. 9 ministers sworn in. The new government promising to end the emergency order and to move ahead with free COVID testing. Plus, senior policemen return to duty. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. Also this morning, we are talking about COVID and children, what you need to know, especially in light of Pfizer saying that their vaccination will work on children younger than 12. Then later in Morning Blend Business, we are talking with the Tourism Development Corporation, starting a new series here, a monthly series here on the show involving tourism. We are talking about a special expo taking place in Dubai next month. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, 9 cabinet ministers sworn in as the team Prime Minister Philip Davis says will usher in transformational governance takes place. The new ministers are Ryan Pinder, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs. Alfred Sears will serve as Minister of Works and Utilities. Glenys Hannah Martin, Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training. Fred Mitchell, Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Public Service. Wayne Monroe, Minister of National Security. Clay Sweeting, Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs. Dr. Michael Darville, Minister of Health and Wellness. Michael Halkitis, Minister of Economic Affairs. And Jomo Campbell, Minister of State for Legal Affairs. Davis saying during the swearing-in ceremony yesterday that they are the initial members of the cabinet that will, quote, reflect the breadth and depth of the competencies and characteristics of our team, experience combined with innovation, expertise combined with a willingness to see things anew, integrity, and a strong sense of purpose. Meanwhile, the new team already making some bold statements. Attorney General Ryan Pinder saying that the Davis administration will set up a legal framework to manage the COVID-19 pandemic and any future pandemics to affect the Bahamas. He made the comments shortly after he was sworn in. He says the Prime Minister made it clear in messages before the election that they're going to not go with emergency orders to emergency orders, but to set up a framework in legislation that will allow the government in instances like pandemics without having to put emergency orders in place and have oversight over the Bahamian people. Newly appointed Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville saying that the Davis administration intends to follow through with its commitment to provide free COVID testing across the country. Free testing was among the PLP's campaign promises. And National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says 3 senior police officers who were forced on extended leave by the previous administration are expected to return to work as early as today. The officers are Clayton Fernander, Lehman Delaveau, and Ken Strawn. In other news, poor decision-making regarding the timing and conduct of the general election cost the F&M dearly, according to an F&M founding father, Maurice Moore. Moore also said the F&M is working to decide the way forward and will meet this week to do so. While he did not opine on whether a leadership change is needed, Moore was critical of former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis' decision to call an election while COVID cases were surging. And only foreign visitors fully vaccinated against COVID-19 will be allowed to fly into the United States come November. That's according to the White House, which announced the policy yesterday. It says that starting November, they'll be putting in place strict protocols to prevent the spread of COVID-19 from passengers flying internationally into the United States by requiring that adult foreign nationals traveling to the United States be fully vaccinated. Fully vaccinated individuals will still have to test negative for COVID within 3 days of traveling to the U.S. Unvaccinated Americans will be permitted to travel to the U.S., but will be required to test negative within 1 day of traveling and test again after arriving. It's unclear which COVID vaccines will be accepted for travel purposes. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, which many Bahamians received, is not authorized for emergency use by the U.S. FDA, despite being authorized for emergency use by the World Health Organization and numerous other agencies around the world. It's been called the most widely accepted COVID vaccine for travel purposes. Overseas, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party securing victory in parliamentary elections, but failing to get the majority he wanted in a vote that focused on the coronavirus pandemic, but that many Canadians saw as unnecessary. Trudeau entered Monday's election leading a stable minority government that wasn't under threat of being toppled, but he was hoping Canadians would reward him with a majority for navigating the pandemic better than many other leaders. Still, Trudeau struggled to justify why he called the election early, given the virus, and the opposition was relentless in accusing him of holding the vote 2 years before the deadline for his own personal ambition. In the end, the gamble did not pay off, and the results nearly mirrored those 2 years ago. The Liberal Party was leading or elected in 156 seats, one less than they won in 2019, and 14 short of the 170 needed for a majority in the House of Commons. The Conservatives were leading or elected in 121 seats, the same number they won in 2019. The leftist New Democrats were leading or elected in 27, a gain of 3 seats, while the Bloc Québécois remained unchanged with 32 seats, and the Greens were down to 2. Trudeau bet Canadians didn't want a conservative government during a pandemic, playing up his own party's success. Canada has one of the highest vaccination rates in the world, and Trudeau's government spent hundreds of billions of dollars to prop up the economy amid lockdowns. Trudeau argued that the Conservatives' approach, which has been skeptical of lockdowns and vaccine mandates, would be dangerous. Trudeau supports making vaccines mandatory for Canadians to travel by air or rail, something the Conservatives oppose. Sports. It was a monumental night for Bahamian professional baseball player Jazz Chisholm when he registered his first 2 home run game, 2 home runs at the major league level against the Washington Nationals last night. The shortstop sent the ball out of the park in the bottom of the 3rd inning, then returned and did the same in the bottom of the 5th inning. Right there in Miami, it was his 16th and 17th home run of the season. He still has a chance to get in the 2020 club, having stolen 21 bases on the season. The Marlins winning that with Jazz running in the scoring run. For a third time in her career, Bahamian Connecticut Sun Jonquel J.J. Jones walking away as the WNBA peak performer in the rebounding category. The league announced that yesterday afternoon. As if that wasn't enough, the forward went on to also secure her third Kia WNBA Eastern Conference Player of the Month award. And the league announced she'd won it again for the month of September. Jones won the rebounding award for her 11.2 boards per game throughout the season. And she was an unstoppable force in the glass. She first won the award in 2017, then won it in 2019. Jones opted out of last season's bubble because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And more from baseball. It's been an up-and-down season for Bahamian minor league baseball player Lucius Fox Jr. As of late, Fox Jr. seems to have found his rhythm, though, after having his best month of the 2022 season as he hit a home run Sunday in a 10-3 victory against the Iowa Cubs. And from the NFL, Monday Night Football action. The Green Bay Packers dominating the Detroit Lions, beating them soundly 35-17. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a moist and unstable air mass along with troughing north of the area that will keep shower and thunderstorm chances elevated across portions of the Bahamas today. Meanwhile, high pressure will maintain gentle to moderate winds across the islands as well. Boaters should be alert for the threat of waterspout or funnel cloud activity in or near showers and thunderstorms. And there is a strong threat for thunderstorms across the entire area. Everybody should be limiting outdoor activities as well and remaining hydrated due to heat indices in the triple digits once more. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, look for partly cloudy and humid conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Some showers will be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Gusty winds and higher seas can be expected in showers and thunderstorms. Winds easterly at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. For the southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, hot and humid, and with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Mainly fair and warm tonight with a few passing showers possible. Gusty winds and higher seas can be expected in showers and thunderstorms. Winds northeast to east at 15 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet. Temperature-wise, today we're looking at highs getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but that heat index will be up to 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
At Wendy's, our food is made to make you crave. Crave our all-new Big Bacon Cheddar Burger. This melt-in-your-mouth sandwich is what cheesy bacon dreams are made of. It starts with your choice of fresh, never-frozen beef or a chicken patty topped with American cheese, applewood smoked bacon, bacon jam, onion tanglers, and creamy cheddar cheese spread on an all-toasted cheddar bun. Available for a limited time only. Stop in today for that flavor you crave. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Do you need to insure your vehicle at the best price? With the most options and free installment payments, CG Atlantic agents offer affordable coverage for everyone. Just call 677-6422 to find out how you can protect your vehicle with extra options to keep you covered. Why wait? Call CG Atlantic agents today at 677-6422. Visit us online at cgatlanticagents.com or in person at Atlantic House, 2nd Terrace and Collins Avenue. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Don Sargent is going to be joining us any minute now. We are having some internet issues, it appears, but we're going to get that sorted out, I hope. Yeah, we're going to get Don connected. He's trying to get that together. You can join the conversation as well. We told you how you can on social media, but you can also call in. We'll give you the numbers to call in just a bit. Coming up this morning, we have a lot to get to. We've got weather and traffic. And in our 7 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking about COVID and children and what you need to know, what you need to keep in mind. And later in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking with the Tourism Development Corporation. In fact, we're starting a partnership with them once a month on the show, dealing with tourism issues. And today we're going to be talking about a special expo that's going on in Dubai. We're going to have the details about that this morning. So a lot to get to. But of course, politics is the hot topic. And we're going to get to all of that right now in the news. And we've got Don Sargent with us now. Yes? No? Still no? Okay. We're going to get that sorted out. In the news, before we get to politics, just want to say Jazz Chisholm is really, in fact, so many Bahamian athletes this year has been a fantastic year, hasn't it? Making us proud. Jazz Chisholm in the Major League Baseball with the Miami Marlins, just really doing some amazing things. 2 home runs in one game. 2 home runs, plus he scored the game-winning run. Unbelievable stuff. And, the Marlins victorious over the Washington Nationals 8-7, and he scored that one there. So 3 points for him, definitely, and just amazing stuff. The 23-year-old infielder is now 3rd on the team with 17 home runs. So just great stuff. You can read about it in today's Nassau Guardian. And John Quell, J.J. Jones, just winning awards every month. Really does seem like she's going to be the MVP of the season and take her Connecticut Sun to the championship. They are on a hot streak, and mainly because of her and the team, of course, yeah. But really amazing on top of what happened with the golds in the Olympics. This has been quite a year. Quite a year for these wonderful Bahamian athletes abroad. All right. So besides that, we've got a lot going on with politics. And the new cabinet is taking shape. Prime Minister Davis naming 9 new members of his cabinet yesterday. They were all sworn in and have already started making announcements about what they intend to do in these first few days. For more on this, take a listen to this report from our Taylor Ferguson.
9 cabinet ministers sworn in this afternoon during a ceremony at Baha Mar. Among the appointees, Senator Ryan Pinder, who will serve as the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Fred Mitchell, Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Public Service. The new Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training is Glenys Hannah Martin. Minister of Works and Utilities, Alfred Sears. Dr. Michael Darville will serve as the Minister of Health and Wellness. Minister of Economic Affairs and Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Michael Halkitis. Clay Sweeting will serve as Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs. Queen's Counsel Wayne Monroe will serve as the Minister of National Security. Minister of State for Legal Affairs is Jomo Campbell. On Saturday, Chester Cooper was sworn in as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation.
They are the initial members of a cabinet which will reflect the breadth and depth of the competencies and characteristics of our team. Experience combined with innovation. Expertise combined with a willingness to see things anew. Integrity and a strong sense of purpose. They're receiving these appointments because of their determination to get things done.
Prime Minister Philip Davis said he's confident the first appointees are ready to deliver on the promise of a new day for the Bahamas.
A lot of people are suffering, and there is a lot of work to do. We're not going to ease into things slowly. We're going to move with the urgency that this moment requires.
Prime Minister Davis also addressing recent controversies within water and sewage and BPL.
We are deeply troubled by the fact that agencies such as BPL and the Water and Sewage Corporation have become more associated with the lack of transparency and accountability in procurement and contracting rather than delivering high-quality service. As Minister of Works, the Honorable Alfred Sayers, QC, will bring integrity, intelligence, and efficiency to these critical portfolios.
Governor General His Excellency Cornelius Smith delivering impromptu remarks at the ceremony, encouraging Bahamians to recognize this is a time to be united.
The differences in politics are to be set aside until the next 5 years. And instead of worrying about tomorrow, let us unite ourselves, let us together make a better Bahamas.
Our Taylor Ferguson with that report there. We're still trying to connect with Don, but you can call in. Tell us what you think of these picks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. And we're told that more announcements will be made over the next couple of days, as early as today. And quite a few ministries not named there as yet. But what do you make of the team? Let's hear what you have to say about it. And some very interesting things already said by the new cabinet ministers. We've got the Attorney General, Ryan Pinder, saying that the Davis administration will set up a legal framework to manage the COVID-19 pandemic and any future pandemics to affect the Bahamas. He said, quote, I think the Prime Minister is clear in his messages before the election that we are looking to not go emergency order to emergency order, but to set up a framework and existence and legislation that will allow us to govern in these instances, pandemics, without having to put emergency orders in place and have that oversight over the Bahamian people. So it will be fully transparent. We will progress in that fashion. And we have to address the pandemic, and we have to address a fair and reasonable place and a way to treat our people. Now, we know that the previous administration had put out some legislation for public consultation. Of course, within days of doing that, the election was called, so I guess that's down the toilet. But we're starting over with something, and it's going to be interesting to see how this is done. We still think it's going to be a challenge, but we will see. We will see. Let's get your views on that. Also, we've got the health minister, Dr. Michael Darville, saying that the administration intends to follow through with its commitment to provide free COVID testing. He said yesterday, quote, the first thing I need to do is I need to get to work tomorrow. We've dedicated our time. We have been speaking about free testing in our 10-point plan we are about to activate, but I do not want to preempt anything because I have to speak with the representatives of the Ministry of Health, the PHA, all of our nurses and doctors. This is a national partnership. This is not a one-man show. We definitely need to get everyone involved. We need to get all hands on deck so that we can get this pandemic under control and begin to get our economy up and going to the point that Bahamians can get back to work. Interesting note here. Darville's the fourth Minister of Health since the Bahamas confirmed its first COVID-19 case in March 2020. Well, And the National Security Minister is also speaking. Wayne Monroe says that 3 senior police officers who were forced on extended leave by the previous administration are expected to return to work as early as today. Those officers, Clayton Fernander, Leomond Delaveau, and Ken Strawn. He says, quote, my understanding is that they will be returning to office tomorrow. That's what he said yesterday, so that means today, I believe, or soon thereafter, which will tell you that their return has to do with the exit of the previous Minister of National Security and not my appointment, because I was only appointed this afternoon. I have seen in the police force, in the defense force, actually, and in the prison, political meddling that should not happen. I believe in systems working properly. I believe that if you make systems work properly, the outcomes are better, and we will look at the systems or how they were working, or from my view, not working, and we will return them to what they should be as it is in the Constitution. You may recall those officers were asked to take many weeks of accumulated vacation back in 2019. Strawn was the first of the 3 to be reassigned upon his return to work in December 2019 when he was appointed Chief of Security at the William A. Pratt and Simpson Penn Juvenile Schools. Fernander was reassigned to the Ministry of Health, and Delaveau was reassigned to the Ministry of Education. Other senior officers were also forced on leave by the Mintz administration, which denied the moves were politically motivated. All right, let's get your views on all of this. Again, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-4796. Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, Blend. It's a beautiful morning.
Hi, yes, it is.
Yeah, I think governance is really a simple thing, you know. What really makes it easy is when you, someone who don't have individuals around you saying, you know, if you don't do this, I can talk that. That kind of stuff is what keeps us going back and forth, and not really advancing or trending in an upward direction. And I am hoping that the Prime Minister doesn't face that situation, but I'm wishing him all the best. Now, the new day seems to be over. I think we are talking now about a new way. And if no one is going to be uttering those words, a new way, and just this new day, we still back on election day. And I would like to hear them talk more about a new way. What is your take?
Well, I mean, I could assume that the new day would be a new way.
Okay.
Symbolically.
Okay.
But
Thanks.
But we were all looking for a new way.
Yeah, not that day's over.
That right. So yeah, I think that wasn't going to be a 24-hour period. I don't think that's what they meant. But let's hope it is a long day of newness.
Thank you, man.
And we're all feeling that. Yeah. Thank you very much. All right. Continue to call in here some of your text messages. Okay. Wasn't Wayne Monroe the lawyer for those senior officers in the case against the government? Also, I wonder if Wayne Monroe still believes in flogging illegal immigrants like he said. Okay. And they also say, look at Prime Minister Davis talking about transparency. Oh, my goodness, already? Okay. But when he was at the Water and Sewerage Ministry, he knew nothing about it. I don't know, okay. And didn't Ryan Pinner resign from the last PLP cabinet for greener pastures and an offshore bank? I wonder what changed from then till now. Well, that was many years ago. But okay. Yeah. Anyway, texter here says, I say kudos to Prime Minister Davis on this first set of cabinet appointments. These appointments also seem to indicate that this will not be a large cabinet like we've seen in the past. No disappointments here. Well, it's still only the beginning. I don't know if you can say that yet, but we're told more to come. We haven't heard about social services and youth, sports, and culture, housing, the environment, quite a few others out there still. So hold your horses. But there's a lot of doubling up, so maybe only a few more. I'll get to that call in a second. This one says here, I was surprised Ryan Pinder was selected as AG after he abandoned the PLP in the past, and I'm surprised Alfred Sears was selected as Works Minister. I think his skill set could be applied better. All in all, I pray that they do very well. Well, you heard what the Prime Minister said, right? He's a man of integrity and will keep people in check, in line at the Public Works Ministry. And apparently that's been desperately needed. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Wonderful. First of all, Mr. Wayne Monroe said distinctly that the appointment had nothing to do with him.
What appointment?
He was told that those 3 officers were brought back. It had nothing to do with him. So when someone texts in about these officers, he was the lawyer or whatever. Sometimes when person talks to the press, you need to listen to the whole thing.
But hold on. They didn't say anything that you're not saying. They're saying, wasn't he the lawyer representing these people?
Yeah, but that's a question. Why would they ask that?
I mean, that's an interesting point. It is an interesting point.
Yeah, but then why would they ask that? As if that's how it came over.
Well, you could interpret it that way.
It had something to do with him because he was their lawyer. That's why they distinctly text that.
Not necessarily.
Yes, well, that's how it come over.
To you, yes.
Right, to me and I guess the others.
Maybe.
He had nothing to do with the appointment.
Yeah, we heard that.
He was just right. That's my point.
Okay, but he also was a lawyer for them. That's what they were saying. Okay. oh, y'all can't do this for 5 years. You're going to be driven crazy, and you're going to drive us crazy too. Every little thing is going to be, yeah, is that how we're going to play this? Everybody's got to calm down. People are making observations. You don't have to jump to conclusions based on the observations. They're just saying, hey, that's interesting. I thought this person had done that back then. And I thought they had said this back then. Look at that now. Why? Oh, that's an interesting point there. You don't have to defend or come back. No, we don't have to do it. But it's going to make for some challenging work days. Oh, boy. Okay. Continue to call in, though. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. We're still trying to connect with Don. Still having Don, you need to try us again. Try getting back in to Zoom there. We'll try to reconnect. Yeah? Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Doing 10 things at the same time. All right. This text here. Yep. We said that already. Did you send it twice? This one says, I love Prime Minister Davis's cabinet pick so far. I love the unexpected selections. And most of all, I love that Glenys Hannah Martin is our Minister of Education. Wayne Monroe will oversee the forces, and Mr. Sayers is in the Ministry of Works especially. But I'm concerned about the new AG because of his track record of running. What are you talking about? Marathons? What does he do? Okay. Please explain to me where they dug up Ryan Pinder from. Didn't he leave his position in an industry he was regulating for one of the companies under his regulation? Another one here. Maybe we can find out now what really happened with BAMSI now that the Prime Minister is talking about transparency. Seriously, though, let's pray that they get things right so that the Bahamas can prosper and pull itself out of our current state. Yes, indeed. Another one here. While he's there, can Monroe come up with some equitable way to treat officers, taking into account the status of current officers? He can then establish new rules for those going forward so that no one is treated as if their years of service don't matter. This back and forth as governments change doesn't make sense. Bring stability to the force. Well, yeah, but he's got a lot of work to do. Don Sargent is with us now. We've got that sorted out. Good morning, Don. Great to have you with us.
Morning, Dwight. I heard a Star Wars reference, so I must ask what's going on here.
Which one did you hear?
Bring balance to the force.
Oh. Okay. Yes. I had so many jokes just came to my head, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold my tongue. All right. Great to have you with us. Hope you're doing well.
Absolutely, Dwight.
That's wonderful. All right. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there?
Hello. Morning, Glenn.
Hi. Good morning.
Yes, I just wanted to chime in on what the caller from the last caller said. If someone make a point, right? The lady was just calling to correct what the person said. Give the lady a chance.
No, she wasn't calling to correct
what the person said.
The person didn't say anything wrong.
What's wrong?
No, it wasn't. The person did not say what she said they said. They were asking a question. Wasn't he one of the people representing? There's nothing wrong with that. Now, she's suggesting that the person was inferring something, which the person wasn't necessarily. Okay, so this is the second day in a row that someone's calling to talk about the way I talked about a caller. So, okay, let me hold my tongue. Here's another text. While he's there, yeah, we read that. Don, what do you think of the picks? What do you think of the cabinet so far? What's your take on it?
I can't even say someone I found to be. I don't want to use the word predictable as if it's a bad thing, but it just I guess everybody thought it was going to be that way. I think Fred Mitchell took on foreign affairs, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that one I found to be the most like you just knew it was going to happen. I was actually quite surprised that Wayne Monroe got national security, considering a lot of the time, at least in his field, being a lawyer and everything, he was on the opposite side of that fence with his clients and stuff. So I just thought it was a rather fascinating pick. I think Chester Cooper also got a combination of stuff. There's been a reorganization of ministries, which usually happens when governments change. I think he got tourism and trade investment.
Well, the new Minister of National Security.
Whoa. Tourism, investments, and aviation. Are you there? Oh, okay. There we go.
What?
No, we lost you there for a second. And now you're very low.
Oh, wow.
Okay, there we go. Yes.
It's powerful.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
But yeah, I was saying, I was surprised at some of the reorganizations of different ministries. I think Glennis Hannah Martin has been selected as Minister of Education, if I'm not mistaken. Dwight?
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yes.
Then lost. Oh, no? Still there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Yeah, I was saying, what about you? Were you surprised at any of those picks or in the first round?
You know, some people had been leaking or circulating some lists around, and so we'd been a little primed for this. So there were not any surprises. But I'm glad that for the most part, there are some people who are back, but with just a few exceptions, people who had served in the cabinet before are not doing the same thing they did before. Fred Mitchell being that major exception there. I think that's good. That's a good sign that Prime Minister Davis is prepared to go in his own direction, not continue what Prime Minister Christie had done. And so this is so far encouraging.
So you feel, Dwight, as if it's really a new day?
Hey, it's Tuesday, September 21st. That is not what it was yesterday. But we know that we have, and the Minister Mitchell, as we mentioned, is going to be responsible for the public service. That he's talked about that a lot in the past. I believe he was at one point the minister responsible for that, and this has been a major issue. The reform in the public service that is desperately needed, and we did a show on this last week on how desperately the change is needed, and we hope we finally get to accomplish this. Finally, after all these years.
Yeah, there's a lot of things when you raise that have come to mind, and we've spoken about over the years on the show as well. The long-standing issue with non-contributory pensions, the cost that brings onto the government. When you talk with structures of the civil service in the Bahamas, I think various credit rating agencies and international monetary organizations have also, said quite a bit about the civil service and the need to reform and how that would essentially strengthen our fiscal position by doing so. But that has never happened. So I'm looking forward to seeing what can come out of this. They do have quite, in fact, the most difficult job of any government in the Bahamas ever, considering everything that's happened with Hurricane Dorian, COVID-19, and loads and loads and loads and loads of deficits for years, and a credit downgrade. So it's going to be more expensive to borrow. So they have probably the most difficult job out of any administration. I said the same thing about the last, the last Minister administration will be the only Minister administration at this point. That he had a quite difficult job considering the circumstances, but now the situation is much more dire. So there won't be much of a honeymoon phase for these guys.
Yeah.
And they have to hit the ground running immediately and start solving problems.
Well, that's what they're saying. At least they recognize that as well.
Yeah.
No vacation.
So, they have my
for them.
support. I hope they're successful because their success quite literally translates to success for all of us. But no, that's a challenge, man. I'm really looking forward to what Fred Mitchell does with the situation in the public service, though, because that is a very tight rope to navigate.
Yeah. All right. Let's take these calls, and we'll get back to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning,
Don.
Yeah, Dwight, it's Don Mandic. First of all, right, I would have want to say kudos to the Progressive Liberal Party, right? I didn't support them, but watching these couple days after they won, it's impressive to me, right, to see how Philip Grave Davis is putting these cabinet, these person in place, because like all of us, we was people will had the speculation of who's going well. Right, and I really, really and truly appreciate some of the new persons they put inside the positions that some persons had for, every time they get in the power, they hold these positions except for what they used to call it flying Fred. But at the end of the day, all of us, like Don said, right, this is a new government, right? We didn't appreciate the last government administration, the behavior that is, and we just have to look for the best from them and hope that they do well. Because like you said, once they succeed, the Bahamas succeed, right? But Dwight, I don't think you should have to bear these apologists every time somebody says something negative, or they assume that it's a negative, statement. I don't think you have, because this is a brand new 5 years. It's going to be a very long time, because you have some persons who listen to the show every day just waiting to hear something about their party call, right? But Dwight,
well, let's just hope it's because the day is new, and that as we get closer to noon or something, or 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that'll settle down. The heat of the day.
Get a little older, tears they cheers.
Yeah. Let's hope that's what it is.
All right, final point, Dwight. Remember now, New Palm show a couple of weeks ago, I told you what was going to happen to the FNM, right? You see it, right?
Yes.
All right, so it's coming because, there's no way on God's earth, create that a man like Dr. Minnis do the job he did and expect to still, in real life, have a leadership position in a party that you destroyed. That don't make no sense to me. But you guys, y'all have a nice day.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the FNM in just a second. But thank you very much. Yeah, it's very interesting. What's coming for them? Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Okay, let's take that one. Good morning. You're on the air. Hello, I hear something. Okay, here we go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hi.
Yes, about this New Day thing, right? Our Constitution speaks to a minimum of 8 cabinet ministers, right? And the Westminster Convention speaks about the cabinet not being larger than the party's caucus, in Parliament. To realize the separation of the legislative and the executive.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so from we get a Gussie cabinet, where there's no check on the executive, then then it won't be a new day. So these are the things we need to look up upon to see that whether there will be a new day or not.
Okay.
You see, so, and I'm looking forward to the media to put a check on them. You see, for them to put a check on that. You see, so, and that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. They're not there yet. We'll see. We'll see if what happens today.
Unfortunately, also too, we've had Gussie May cabinets in the past, and although the Westminster system does, I don't know if I use the word correctly when I say call for that or encourages it. If anything, there's
encourages which one?
The whole not having a smaller cabinet, not a ginormous cabinet, to allow more legislators to. But the problem is when you have these blowout situations, right? When you have like 7 people or 4 people or 5 people in opposition, like it doesn't really mean anything, because you don't have to say anyway, basically, as opposition. You can make some noise and bang on the table a little bit, But in reality, you're not stopping anything from legislation. You're not questioning anything. And also, if you're inside the party, we've already seen how that works the last time around, right? Especially the situation with Travis Robinson and voting for VAT and a new budget and all those things, and all the comments and statements made, and all the things that happened under the last session in Parliament. The system doesn't necessarily lend much credence to you questioning what your party's really doing. You toe the line. And there are systems in place to ensure that you do that as well. So while I agree with the caller, I just wish it worked a bit differently.
It can work exactly the way we are saying if the prime minister is bold or brave to limit the numbers and to let the others who don't get a cabinet post or a director of something or chair of something that, hey, thank you, you're still a part of us, but we got to keep these numbers small.
But if it doesn't happen, would you be surprised?
Well, we've become accustomed to it, right? This is how, and I think politicians believe that that's how it's supposed to work. We talked about it yesterday, about how the salary issue will be an excuse. Like, how you expect me to survive on this $28,000? So, of course, I need a position somewhere. And so you end up with a bunch of parliamentary secretaries, and as I said, chairman of this, executive chair of that, and that silences you from being critical, unfortunately. But we will see. We will see. We will see how new the day is. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, Dwight, and good morning to you, Don Cialan Johnson.
Hi.
Yeah, just on that quick point of the cabinet being larger than the majority in Parliament. If you actually look at the 39 minus the 1 for the Speaker, that leaves 38. Divide by 2, that leaves 19. So that means cabinet can actually be 21 and still be less than the majority, not counting the Speaker, because you can have 18 in the House of Assembly and you can have 3 from the Senate. And so you'd still have a one majority in Parliament. So the context of the argument has to be somewhat adjusted. But when you speak, are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, sorry, I'm hearing an echo. So when you speak to the cabinet appointments, I think if individuals begin to look at the actual go and read the PLP's blueprint for change and their agenda in the absence of even adding to the speech from the throne, then look at the appointments that is being made as the shift in portfolios. Then take that into perspective, the fact that we are seeking to rebuild and reboot and revolutionize the economy. You can see some perspectives as to what the intent may be. And so, like when you look at the Deputy Prime Minister's portfolio of investments, tourism, and aviation, if you look at them very succinctly, you'll see that as we expand into the hospitality industry, which we call tourism, you'll begin to see that we need an increased investment, whether it be localized investments or foreign investments, whether it be capital or actual individuals coming in. Then aviation is one of the most important aspects, what we call airlift, because the cruise ships, as we call the floating hotels, provides no major value to it. So aviation becomes an important aspect of the rebuilding of the economy, especially for the Bambi Islands, as we call it. So then, so I think if individuals would, for those who may not necessarily support the government, or even some that do, would just take the opportunity to actually read the blueprint for change right now and look for the perspective of what is trying to be achieved. Then also listen to what is actually said by the current Prime Minister and even the ministers for which he put in place. There is a lot of messaging in it. So what we could do is simply add some thought rather than just talk as we go forward.
Okay.
This is our government, this is our cabinet, and the blueprint for change is now our agenda. And so we must all embrace it and begin to look for what is necessary that we, as a collective, can go about to agitate and change. And if you want a party position, this is the time for people to get involved rather than complain.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Great advice. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's take this call, and then we're going to do a couple more text messages before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Hey guys,
Hi, good morning.
everything's good. Listen, man, I think one of the notable things is, we always been getting good cabinet ministers. We started off this way under the previous administration when we thought we had Yagler and Marvin Daines and Jeffrey Lloyd, But I think these ministries, people are very excited about the picks also here in the PLP administration. But we are not addressing the fundamental problems in the ministries, man. The workforce, the buy-in of these public service employees, man. I don't care what expertise and leadership qualities, these new ministers are. They have to get these people on board. You have to be bold and brave and decide to make some fundamental changes in these government agencies, man. Or, and you can see it where, who was more experienced than Marvin Daines in national security, man? Everybody thought that would have been a change there, but if you can't get the buy-in, dealing with these unions, man, you see what happened at the tail end of this last administration with the unions, man. It's the same problem that the new administration is going to meet. It's not going to disappear,
Yeah.
I think the probably tightening up the ministries and bringing them some of them together, where we could have some focus. But I think you made a good point. This ain't no job fair. This ain't getting into politics to get a job, to get a parliament post, to get a minister post. That ain't no job fair. You're here to serve the people, man. Public service. If we take one opportunity to say, hey guys, why did you join politics? Is it to be a minister or is it to be an MP?
Right.
You sign up to be an MP to serve your constituencies. Go in there, pass legislation, stand up. If you don't support a bill, if you support a bill, to better the lives of Bahamian people, that's the first objective, not to be a minister.
Yep.
And I think that's important.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. The caller mentioned something about Marvin Daines. This is an interesting text here, though. It says, going to say this for the third time. Oh, you've been saying this often, eh? National Security is not Minister of Defense. That's what those Bell and Dames police appointments twisted and contorted it into. It is much more than immigration and policing. The threats to the financial industry from the European Union could also be considered a national security threat. The threats from those beetles could be considered national security. The role needs a thinking big brain. Wayne Monroe is a good choice. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, this one says, get ready for a long 5 years of nitpicking, Dwight. This one says,
Don't we nitpick everybody? Well, I would use the word nitpick.
No, they don't mean us. I think they mean the callers. Text.
We
Maybe they mean us.
Everything. No matter who's in government, if someone does something right, we applaud. If someone does something wrong, we call it out. We discuss it. We analyze it. We voice on this.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I think they mean the callers. Yeah. This one says, Ryan Pinder's mind-blowing offer has evaporated, I suppose. And Glennis and Belinda, it'd be fun. Everyone keeps saying this, not necessarily going to be that way. Come on, I don't know. They're talking about Belinda Wilson, the president of the BUT. Okay. Anyway, this one says here, how long is this going to go on for? Ryan Pinder will be AG until he gets another mind-blowing offer. 90% of
I
these...
have to say that the jokes about this are well-deserved.
Yeah? Well, how long are we going to joke about it? How long? We got another week? Until the end of the week?
Yeah, probably,
all month?
Probably another week.
Till next year? How long? Anyway, let me stop. Because Attorney General, you don't want to make too many jokes about the Attorney General. It could be a problem. Anyway, this one, 90% of these people, Braves bringing back our old era PLPs. He is old police coming back. Pinder has no experience in criminal law to be AG. Well, you don't need to necessarily be in criminal law. Come on now. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot. Folks, come on. Anyway, nothing really has changed. Is it really a new day? Okay. What do we need to know about BAMC that we didn't already know? It burnt down. It wasn't insured. Davis messed up last time, so now he wants Sears, who we trust won't get it wrong. That's responding to a text from earlier, I believe. Okay. A question for you, for both of you and your listening audience. While being an avid listener, this is long. Okay, this is going to be a problem. What's this one now? While being an avid listener and participant, although through text since the show's inception, I took note of the discussion and critiques by the show of the former administrations during their maiden years. As was the case with the previous administration, what will be the approach towards the Davis-led administration? Will we show patience and hold the intense scrutiny for, say, a year, as your common phrases toward the Minutes administration during their first year were, give them a chance, we have to wait and see, and previous administrations did it also. Or will it be critical, while constructive, and also demand high standards of accountability, integrity, and professionalism? I prefer the latter. What say ye? Yeah, definitely the latter. I know there are going to be a lot of, we're hearing that already, right? Some people calling in, texting in, and but definitely the latter. We realize you can't let up on the throttle on some folks, because that's when the problems start. So, right, you don't have to go crazy, but we do need to maintain moving forward.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't have any instances where mistakes are made, like on the national stage with deals and stuff. So, and I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just saying I hope we don't see any instances of that, right? Because it can happen. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about, Dwight.
How could we forget? And there's so many, but yes. But if there are mistakes, and there will be mistakes because humans are involved, but let's not let them drag on for long. Just immediately acknowledge the problem and fix it. Don't let days pass by so people can speculate and come up with all kinds of crazy theories. Immediately address the issue and move on. Right? Let's take a break. When we come back, more of your messages and a lot more to get to on this Tuesday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
The start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
In your extended outlook, that moisture-rich environment over the area will continue to keep shower and thunderstorm activity elevated. Meanwhile, swells generated by Tropical Storm Peter out in the Atlantic, east of the islands, will begin to affect the country early Wednesday, and boaters and beachgoers should exercise caution. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, variably cloudy and with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Thursday, partly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. So we're watching 4 areas in the tropics right now. 4. Tropical Storm Peter, 100 miles north of the northern Leeward Islands, moving west-northwest near 12 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. It's going to come near the Bahamas, but move well east of it and to the north out into the Atlantic. Swells will still be a problem, especially for boaters. Keep that in mind, but not going to directly impact us. Then there's Tropical Storm Rose, located several hundred miles west-northwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, moving northwest near 15 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. There's also a tropical wave located several hundred miles south of the Cabo Verde Islands with a formation chance of 50 to 80% through the next 5 days. And a storm force, a non-tropical low-pressure system, the remnants of Odette, located several hundred miles southeast of Newfoundland, which could acquire some subtropical characteristics by the middle of this week. The system has about a 10 to 30% chance of formation through the next 5 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Best rates, no delays. Best rates, no delays. BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in
package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Let me ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Pam.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Is your money safe?
It's under my bed, so I guess so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why?
Unless your money is in a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation, there's no guarantee it's safe.
Yeah, but what if something happens to the bank?
Your Bahamian dollar deposits are insured up to $50,000, so you'd still be ahead. Plus, your mattress might catch fire. Then what?
Man, those banks and credit unions are looking good right about now.
Visit the DIC's website at www.dic.bs. Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite something. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these steps. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never pay to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Do you get what you're hoping for? When you look behind you, there's no open doors. What are you hoping for? Do you know? Once we were standing still in time, chasing the fantasies that filled our minds.
And we're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan on with Don Sargent. We're going to pick up the politics conversation a little bit later in the show, and I'm going to talk more about what the F&M is saying they're going to do this week. All of that coming up and get more of a reaction to the cabinet picks so far. But this morning, we cannot forget, of course, that we are still in the middle of a pandemic and COVID is still here. We still have a lot of people in the hospital, a lot of people still sick, and a lot of people have died. And we cannot forget that. We continue this morning talking about our fight against COVID and our partnership with the U.S. Embassy, of course, the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle continues, and we do the drawings here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But we do want to bring you information about this pandemic, this disease, COVID, and what you need to know as well. This morning, we're very pleased to have with us pediatrician and pediatric cardiologist, Dr. Jerome Lightburn. Good morning, Dr. Lightburn. Great to have you with us again.
Good morning. Thank you, Dwight. I hope you can hear me clearly. I'm speaking from a cell phone.
Yes, you sound pretty good. We can hear you.
Wonderful.
All right. So yesterday was very interesting. The word from Pfizer that their vaccine is proving to work on children younger than 12, 5 to 11, I think they're saying. but in a limited dose, not as strong as what teenagers and adults are getting. But a lot of people have been back and forth on this, even with their teenagers, whether to vaccinate them. Let's talk about this, and we'll get into some other issues with children and COVID. But what do you say about this and vaccinating children under 12?
Oh, I'm all positive for that. As a fellow of the American Academy of Pediatrics, we've been fighting, rather the Academy's been fighting for a while to push Moderna and Pfizer and the federal government to prove it's safe to start giving to children. Initially, it was from 2 to 11. They took it down to 5. I think it's great. I think to get back in school safely, we need to vaccinate. Now, you'd be surprised, Dwight, how many parents are anxious to have that vaccine. Definitely in my practice. I know most of my 12 to 18, 17-year-olds have gotten the vaccine. A lot of them still pushing for that. So I give the kudos to the kids over there. I also give kudos to those little 3-year-olds who wear a mask and don't take it off.
Right.
And I wish the adult population would follow.
Yeah, and they don't complain about it.
No, they don't complain. They play outside. They come in my office, jump up and down the table. I had a 3-year-old in my office the other day who refused to take it off.
Wow.
It's quite good.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That sounds very promising, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
I think even for the kids is very promising. So do I think we should vaccinate? Yes, everyone should get the vaccinations. Needless to say, the only way this pandemic is going to stop is to stop the substrate, so to speak, with individuals the virus can spread to. And kids, initially in the initial part of the disease, remember, they were not considered contagious. Right. They're not considered to have, significant disease. But as this new thing called Delta, I'm sure the whole world's heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
As Delta come about, it's really changed the playing field. Kids can now spread the disease. Kids now get sick. And we do see them in the Bahamas. Matter of fact, we've had 45 cases in this country, kids in hospital.
45?
Yeah, we have one 4-month-old that actually died. And we have had something called the residual effect of COVID, which means 4 to 6 weeks after the presentation of COVID, after COVID infection or known or unknown exposure to COVID, they come up with this fulminant disease which called, multi-system inflammatory syndrome of childhood. And that's a terrible disease, potentially. Attacks the heart, attacks the brain, attacks the liver, puts them in shock. Most of them go into ICU. Some of them have residual cardiac effects, about 20%. And so it's there. We've had 8 to 10 of those cases. So the kids are not immune to this. They do get affected, and we must protect them as well.
Mm-hmm. I have so many questions about that. What can you tell us about the cases you're seeing with children? Are their parents not vaccinated? Or what do we know about how they are?
Can I answer that this way?
Mm-hmm.
There's not been any super spreader from kids in schools.
Mm.
So they obviously get it from the adults.
Wow.
Follow? So needless to say, adults are there. Please have your civil responsibility, social responsibility, and protect yourself and your family by getting vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the kids, I gather most of the kids are getting from the families or proximity to friends since we're in a lockdown for so long. The kids are not out and about as the adults are. So the adults are bringing it home to them.
Wow.
And pregnancy, we've had quite a few deaths in pregnancy as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what ages are we talking about here? I know you said, what were we seeing?
With COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, we've seen them from as early as 17 days.
My goodness.
4 months. We've seen them older as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it's here, and they're getting it from their parents or the families.
All right, we have a lot more to talk to you about. We're going to take a break for news. When we come back, more with Dr. Jerome Lightbourne. We're talking about COVID and children and what you need to know. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to?
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:23, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a moist and unstable air mass along with troughing north of the islands that will continue to keep shower and thunderstorm chances elevated across portions of the country today. Meanwhile, high pressure will maintain gentle to moderate winds. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, your forecast calls for partly cloudy and humid conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Some showers will be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Boaters should be alert for waterspout or funnel cloud activity as well. And again, the thunderstorm threat could be severe today. For the southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, hot and humid with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly fair and warm tonight with a passing shower possible. Temperature-wise, we're expecting another hot day, highs getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will be in the triple digits once again, up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 Celsius, and everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activities and to remain hydrated. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a moisture-rich environment over the area will continue to keep shower and thunderstorm activity elevated. Meanwhile, swells generated by Tropical Storm Peter passing east of the islands will begin to affect these islands early Wednesday, and boaters and beachgoers should be very cautious as a result. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, look for variably cloudy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Thursday, partly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. A lot happening in the tropics on this final day of summer 2021. We've got Tropical Storm Peter, about 100 miles north of the northern Leeward Islands, moving west-northwest near 12 miles per hour with a maximum sustained winds near 40 miles per hour. It's expected to take a turn toward the north and northeast out into the Atlantic and away from the islands. But as we said earlier, the swells will impact us, especially in the southern and central Bahamas. Boaters and beachgoers need to keep that in mind beginning tomorrow. Then we've got Tropical Storm Rose, several hundred miles west-northwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, moving northwest near 15 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. One that we really all need to be paying close attention to is a tropical wave several hundred miles south of the Cabo Verde Islands with a formation chance of about 50 to 80% through the next 5 days. And then there's a storm-force non-tropical low-pressure system, the remnants of Odette, several hundred miles southeast of Newfoundland, which could acquire some subtropical characteristics by the middle of the week. The system has a formation chance of about 10 to 30% through the next 5 days. Elsewhere, tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 5 days, but that is a lot to deal with. 4 of those we're keeping an eye on. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And we've got another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, Milo Butler Highway is your hotspot as usual. Heavy traffic north of Fire Trail in the northbound lanes to Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway. But the traffic's backed up on Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway as well, westbound to that roundabout with Milo Butler Highway. Keep that in mind. You might want to find an alternate route if you can. Perhaps if you can get to Fire Trail or JFK Drive, that might be a better way for you to go. Gladstone Road is also busy for you northbound, heading toward JFK Drive. And then we've got Blue Hill Road, seeing some heavy traffic northbound, north of Soldier Road to Independence Drive, which is also backed up westbound to that roundabout. And further south on Blue Hill Road near Carmichael Road and St. Vincent Road, that's a congested area for you. And then Cowpen Road, Zion Boulevard, that intersection is looking busy as well. Elsewhere, we've got pockets at the major intersections on the island. So Prince Charles and Fox Hill, Prince Charles and Beatrice, Prince Charles Soldier Road, and then Robinson Road, East-West Highway, and Marathon Road, especially Marathon Road northbound for you. And Village Road, Bernard, Soldier, and Wolf Road, that intersection looking a little congested as well. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Now that your age is not everything, now that your kids call you for advice, now that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, why stop? Nourish your strength and energy with Ensure. Ensure provides protein, antioxidants, key vitamins and minerals to support your immune system. Now that it's your moment to enjoy your vitality, why stop? Your life, your health, your Ensure.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Do you get what you're hoping for when you look behind?
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Don Sargent. We are talking with pediatrician and pediatric cardiologist Dr. Jerome Lightburn, having a great discussion so far this morning. You're talking about the cases that we're seeing with children with COVID. I want to ask, are there symptoms similar to what we see in adults? Are they experiencing the same issues initially, and then we can get into the long-term effects a little bit more?
I think one again, Dwight. I think most of the kids present the same. Their symptoms usually not as severe. They have upper respiratory tract infection like the cold. Coronavirus, remember, is one of the cold viruses. Can get flu-like illnesses. The kids typically don't get, they don't deteriorate as quickly as adults. But they get up the same symptoms. They get up the shortness of breath, they get up the fever, the fatigue, the headaches, the rhinorrhea, etc. So yes, they present the same way, but they do not and typically has what you call a permanent disease as most adults. Like I said, we only found about 45 so far, which is a lot.
Yeah. Wow. Now, okay, so I'm sure you are aware that a lot of people have some very strong views about these vaccines and vaccinating people, especially children. We're already getting some text messages about this. If it isn't as serious, why do we need to even consider vaccinating children?
Well, the first thing you realize we're in a pandemic. Being in a pandemic means the only way to stop it is to control the disease. I mean, control everybody. Kids can still spread the disease. And now with Delta in play, it changes the whole playing field. And we're now seeing kids getting sicker. We're now seeing kids have a higher risk of this thing called MISC, what they call me the cardiologist in. And we actually have one death related to that. We've had quite a few kids coded. So it is a significant disease in children. But like the rubella vaccine, when it first came out, we thought it was a disease of females, so we never vaccinated the males. So if you go back in history, we didn't never control the disease until we vaccinated males and females. You don't hardly hear about rubella, thank God, anymore. Congenital heart's a problem for that. So the same thing, I think, we feel the same thing with the COVID, with the pandemic. And the kids, they respond better. We like to vaccinate children before age 15 for most of their vaccination because their immune tolerance and the taking of the vaccine is a lot better at that age. So I fully support the 5 to 11-year-old. Only way we're going to stop the disease. Kids don't get sick, but boy, they can spread it. And with the Delta, it changes everything. With Delta, the spreadability and virulence of the virus has changed. And the reason you vaccinate a population, I encourage all those adults who do not want to get vaccinated and the vaccinated children, is that until your population gets low, the risk of different variants coming about again. As the virus goes in and out of us and different populations, it comes so different. So you started with the wild type, then you get the alpha, the alpha type in London, you got the beta in South Africa, and now in India, you got a delta, and it's going to continue to change. And there's a potential for it to get worse and worse. So you and I, hopefully you're vaccinated. For those of us who are vaccinated, we are at risk again because the virus is changing. Mm-hmm. So the disease is not stopped.
Well, all right. The long-term effects. You mentioned some of that before we broke. Tell us more about that. And if you are definitely seeing that now with children, how long are we talking about since they were infected, and what are they experiencing?
Dwight, I'd like to talk about two things. I'd like to talk about that, but I also like to talk about the side effect of myocarditis and pericarditis, and why a lot of parents are hesitant, what are the things they're worried about. So the long kill COVID, I'm sure the word is out there. There are a lot of different COVID-19 recovery, a lot of different names. We see it commonly in adults. We are seeing it in children, not as much. And see that for me, most people do not die from COVID, but boy, people have a lot of long-term effects from COVID. And it changes your life. Up to 40% of people don't get back to normal for months. Some as far as 12 months out right now. And I mean, they get these chest pains they cannot explain. They get the fatigue. They cannot do it. They typically do it to get poor endurance, get the weakness, the cough, the parts where they have tendency to faint and collapse. And the symptom goes on. And the thing that really hits home to me is all anxiety related to it. And COVID affects the brain as well. And so in terms of getting you back to normal post-COVID is a long road. And I think in terms of, morbidity, cost to the workplace and everything, cost you and your family, the dynamics of the family is affecting all of that. And if that's the only reason you get a vaccine, I think that's a good reason to get vaccinated, because a lot of people do not die from this. I mean, a lot of people have passed, but most people, they bounce out of this and they get long COVID. And they have chronic symptoms that never get back to normal. Fortunately, in children, we did not think we've seen it, but in kids, they usually get a fatigue and some of the weakness. They don't get all the other chronic symptoms that we have seen so far. But in terms of the anxiety from it, we have a lot of kids in our office who have developed tics because of COVID, or even reading about COVID, people post-COVID. And motor tics are these things, the kids snapping, or they moving ahead and kicking the feet. In my practice, a lot of our practices, we've seen a lot of those.
What?
So the kids getting affected from this, and they're reading it. When I don't know about you, but when I was a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, I was running around the yard, didn't know anything about diseases.
Right.
These guys know these diseases right now. That's not normal.
Okay, tell us more about that. I mean, what's causing that? That's a psychological reaction, or what's?
That's a psychological reaction, and it's a real one. So you manifest stress in different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you cope, I mean, you move on with your life. A lot of kids, they manifest their stress in terms of motor tics. They're shouting out, they're snapping, they're moving and everything. And they really don't have any control over it. But there's nothing wrong with the brain. And when the stress is controlled and you talk to them and kind of ignore it as much as you can, then it typically goes away. But some of them are being protracted. Some of them we've sent to the pediatric neurologist to get evaluated, make sure nothing else is going on. But I think COVID on the whole is affecting children and adults. And we have a tendency to forget the kids. Mm-hmm. And I think that's our mistake. If I can, I'd like to talk about the myocarditis and pericarditis.
Yes, tell us about that.
Post-COVID. I'm not, everybody knows, but child in my office who's gotten the vaccine after 12 have been calling me on it. And there's a lot of them. A lot of the parents are stressed about it. So the question is, who should get the vaccine? You asked it earlier. And the only person who should not get a vaccine if you're of a significant allergic reaction to some component of the COVID vaccine. So in all reality, anybody with comorbidities, anybody, especially heart, lung, diabetes, a lot of Bahamians say, well, I don't want to take the vaccine because I have hypertension, I have heart disease, I have diabetes. It's on the contrary. You're the ones who should be in the front line for it, as well as kids. So in children, we push that now between the age of 12 and between 12 and 39, they could get this thing called pericarditis or myocarditis associated with the vaccine. That number is very low. The highest incidence is between 12 and 29 years of age, where they present acute, say, 4 days to 7 days after the first, and most commonly after the second dose. They present with chest pains to kind of explain shortness of breath, palpitations. So any child who got vaccinated presenting with chest pain, shortness of breath, or palpitations really should seek medical attention. Mm-hmm. I want to caution everybody, though, the internet is there, Instagram is there, Facebook is there. Anxiety plays a big role. A lot of my patients are being very nervous. They've read about it, anticipated, and of course, the symptoms happen. Mm. The difficulty is trying to decipher what's real and what's not real. But definitely, the risk of pericarditis and myocarditis is not common. The population between the age of 12 to 29, there's only been 41 cases per million. And that's a male, by the way. And females is less, 4.2 cases per million. Mm-hmm. But it is there. It is real. And the risk we now know today is higher than the normal population. So getting the vaccine does carry some risk. But just like with the clots you get with the Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca potentially, mm-hmm. with mRNA, the Pfizer and the Moderna, there's a risk of getting myocarditis, pericarditis. But guess what? The risk of getting myocarditis, pericarditis from COVID is almost 70%.
Wow.
And in kids, it can be as high as 90%. So do the math. I'm standing in the middle of the road. The bicycle is coming this way, and a Mack truck is coming the next way.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't say that, right?
That seems pretty simple there. All right. So you mentioned it, and I wanted to ask about it. So far, we're hearing about Pfizer for children under 11. And we're actually only Pfizer, and I guess Moderna eventually, for teenagers. But what about AstraZeneca? For those who are skeptical about mRNA technology at this point, when will we likely see this? Do you think it's going to be recommended at all for children and teens, AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson?
I can't see that because AstraZeneca, as you know, with the tendency to clots and stuff, that's a real risk. And even though that risk is also very low. And even in the UK, where they produce AstraZeneca at Oxford, they have taken the route of giving the younger kids Pfizer as well. So the masses are not there to actually do the studies, to follow that through. Mm-hmm. So I think with the results of the mRNA and where the world is going right now, I see we can be with the Pfizer and the Moderna attacking the younger kids. Now that doesn't mean anywhere else in the world are not doing, because in Cuba they're now vaccinating from age 2 and up.
Oh wow!
They try to get kids back in school, but they have their own vaccine. Mm-hmm. China, different countries have different vaccines, but in our part of the world, I think in the Western Europe, we are with the Pfizer and Moderna right now.
Right. All right, you can text us if you have any questions for Dr. Jerome Lightburn. We text us 422-4796, and you can tweet us or Facebook us. We're running out of time, so we don't have time for calls, but if you were interested, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Do you know where the government is at on this? Do you know if they're leaning in this direction, especially with the news? I know it's not been very long since we heard this yesterday morning, but do you know if the government's leaning in that direction for children as well?
Well, I don't know. I think the Ministry of Health has changed, but the leaders there are, and our chief is a pediatrician, Dr. Dalridges. I love that. So she's pushed this, and I'm sure she's for that, and she's very much pro-vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see it following this through. So when it came to the 12 to the 17, when it became available, it was on the board. The kids got vaccinated. The availability of the vaccine is here. So I can tell you, I'm the president of the pediatric preferred organization in the country with all of us involved. So like 32 of us. I've been there for a while, and I can tell you, we're going to push it from our group and try to push the ministry if they don't take that route. But I think they'll take that route.
Yeah.
Vaccination, though, rather than just the kids, is pregnancy and breastfeeding mothers. We're pushing that as well. The government of Bahamas took a long time to take that up. But the rest of the world have been doing that for a while. Pregnant women have a very high risk of death and severe disease from COVID. So we push that. And also now our breastfeeding mothers, we push that as well. Government took a while to get going on that. But I think they're thinking about it and they've started that.
Yeah. Now, I just want to make this clear. You've not said that this morning. I don't know if people are hearing, but a couple of people are saying that it sounds like you're suggesting that vaccination stops the transmissibility. That's not what you've said.
Absolutely not. Vaccine does not stop transmissibility. Vaccine stops severity of the disease. Vaccine stops you getting sick in a hospital. And vaccine is not, no vaccine in the world is 100%. So if you can get COVID, vaccinated or not, you can still spread the disease.
Yeah.
So to answer that question, should you wear your mask, even though you're fully vaccinated? Answer that is yes. Matter of fact, the CDC in August of 2021, that's last month, right?
Yes.
That all fully vaccinated people must wear masks indoors. If you have someone in your home who's at risk of severe COVID, you should wear a mask in your house, even though you're vaccinated.
Wow.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that doesn't do anything with transmissibility, because you could still spread the virus. Now, your viral load must not be as high, but the recent studies show that your viral load in the initial stage of disease, the first few days, is just as high as someone who's not vaccinated, even though it wanes off faster. So please wear your mask, period.
This text here, Dr. Lightburn, if I'm allergic to penicillin and it's and anything in the family, I guess, can I get vaccinated?
Yes. That's an emphatic yes.
Okay. Another text here. Dr. Lightburn, what advice would you give to parents or guardians who have a concern about not having any legal recourse when severe side effects occur from taking a vaccine?
You have a legal recourse. I don't know what they mean by that, but it's a legal recourse in everything you do. During a pandemic, though, it kind of ties your hands. So most vaccinations, there's a side effect panel called VAERS by the CDC, and you could send up those things. But during a pandemic, all of our hands are tied. A pandemic means we are physicians and the medical community, we may be able to treat you. But in terms of legally, like if you have a side effect to MMR or something where they attack the family, I don't think that's available yet because we are in a pandemic. So I think they're true. During a pandemic, things changes. That's why governments could lock us down and there's no penalty for it.
Yeah. All right. So if you're hearing this now, hearing our discussion, and you have a 7-year-old and you want to get your child vaccinated, can you do that now? Can you go online and say, I want this for my child? Is that possible at this moment?
No, you cannot. By the way, a lot of my parents are pushing me. They want to know that's going to happen. It's not even approved in the United States until about, I think, the end of this month or October. And until that happens, and the U.S. approved the Pfizer, then we're not going to get it. I don't see us getting it until December.
Because it's not the same dose.
No, it's the same vaccine. It's not the same dose.
Right.
It's 1/3 the dose.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but it's still.
So we still have to wait for that to come.
Yeah, until they prove it for themselves.
Right.
Until the people who made it approve it, and the FDA, they can't sell it outside of that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So any final words to parents out there who are just trying to process this information we heard from Pfizer yesterday and who had been thinking that you're saying those numbers, 45 children with COVID here. We know we've had at least one death.
45 children, sorry, Dwight, 40 children COVID in hospital.
In the hospital. So it's much more than that. My goodness.
A lot of kids with COVID. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm in hospitalization.
Right. Okay.
COVID disease.
So
This is different. We got a lot of kids with
big
COVID.
difference. Yes.
We
So
like the opposite COVID.
my gosh. All right. So what do you say to people who are hearing this and trying to process it all?
But I think it is concerning, and that mother or that person who called and asked about why vaccinate younger people, that is real. They were right when it first came up. We thought of that until Delta came about, and we changed they changed the whole playing field. So my statement is, the vaccine is safe. The risk of pericarditis, myocarditis is very low. Those who get it, pretty much 99% of them recover completely. Very few of them require hospitalizations. So most of those patients are treated at home, not even hospital. If the side effects of chest pains, shortness of breath, or palpitation after the vaccine comes, seek medical attention. If they need Dr. Lightborn, cardiac, or one of us, they'll call us. But typically, no. Anxiety is playing a role in all of this, and I think, as far as vaccination, please vaccinate those kids. We got to get the school back open. They're getting anxious from school. They're getting depression because of lack of school. They're getting these motor tics. We talk about lack of school.
Right.
Kids need socialize. My fear, Dwight, is you got a 5-year-old 4 years from now who don't know how to judge your face. They don't see the mask. When you're smiling, when you're lying. So, you put a risk there.
Oh, dear.
So get vaccinated. And the risk is extremely low. And kids do better than adults.
Wow.
With much less side effects.
Wow.
From the vaccine.
A lot to think about there. Dr. Jerome Lightburn, always a pleasure. I want to read this text. This text came in. It says, slightly off topic, but my beautiful, healthy 18-year-old daughter was born with a hole in her heart, and she was under the care of Dr. Lightburn soon after birth. We are forever grateful. So we've had you on many times to talk about the work that you do as a pediatric cardiologist. Thank you so much for everything that you do for the people of the Bahamas.
Okay, thank you very much, Dwight. Thank you for having me on.
All right. And we want to thank the U.S. Embassy as well for partnering with us to get this information out there. And remember to log on to vaxbahamas.com for the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And we'll be drawing another name for that tomorrow. We're going to take a break and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here, ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bs.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Hey! We all gotta live, so we should learn to give. Come on, take that match from off the wall. Give that baby back his ball.
Leave other people think some. There's other ways to get involved. Get involved, get involved.
Don't be no fool, stay in school. Yes, man, let your mind become a tool.
Just were meant for fools to be locked away from society.
Get involved. Come on, y'all. Get involved. Get involved. Get involved. Get involved. Get involved.
Get involved, get involved.
Get involved. Get involved. They got a way to get involved. Get involved. Get involved.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Don Sargent. Coming up in a few minutes in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking with the Tourism Development Corporation, starting a new series here on Morning Blend Business. Talk about tourism. Once a month, we're going to be dealing with them and looking forward to it. Today, we're going to be talking about a special expo in Dubai and how the Bahamas will be represented. We're going to get into that. That's coming up in a few minutes. We continue with what we were talking about earlier, politics, everybody giving their views on the cabinet picks so far. And got a few of your messages from earlier that we didn't get to. We'll get to those in a bit. And we've got a call. Yeah. And we've got a few of your questions in, but these are not appropriate questions. And some of these are just statements about what we just talked about with Dr. Lightbourne. But a couple of these, you should see your doctor. How about that? That's a good idea. But let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Pleasant day to you and your co-host.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, sir. Very much elated by the cabinet pick. I thought about it. I think a cabinet, you normally get persons of like mind, in a synergy, so to speak. You know, they each ministry working along together. So I think it's going to be very beautiful. I think the last time we had a female minister, a woman. I understand the word female is now a tabooed word.
No, it's not. But
I need to inquire why. You know, I heard about that yesterday, so I want to inquire why.
No, calling women female, but you can say a female politician,
right.
Female doctor.
I guess I remember that was I think that the Ivy Dumont. I think that was the last minister of education. But
right.
It's excellent. Engliston has produced well, and I think Mr. Michel and every it's so far so good. Even the return of Mr. Pinder, in spite of the way he left, because I saw him as the Bill Clinton in the PLP, you know, someone who is loved, you know, and because of his expertise, you know, so far so good. But a while ago in the news mentioned about the boulder that was moved, and that is a very touching story. I met the father around that time, you know, because we used to associate on different occasions, and he had recently lost his mother, and that was his only daughter. So even though I wanted to comment on the remarks that were made about a sudden movement of the border without permission, because they knew there must be a system of order. We will need to continue have a situation of understanding, empathizing what's going on in our situation, and we need to have this real family, a family unit, so to speak, not just a family across a political inside circle, and so that even when a government changes, as one of your caller mentioned, the person who buy into cooperate, and that should be across at all times, so that we can go forward.
Okay.
But so far so good. I think it's on a roll.
Yep. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Ben. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
Wonderful. Congratulations to you.
To
and to the people in Ragged Island.
To what now? Who? What? Where? Huh?
Yes, congratulations to you, sir. You have done a wonderful job over the years, and each time a government change, you have aided and abetted. You have done a great job.
Aided and abetted.
Okay?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that, sir.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that, sir. Okay. You have done a positive job.
Okay. Thank you.
And those changes were due.
Wow.
Okay?
Sure.
The work that us as the Bahamians, we deserve the service that is given. Okay, when it's not given, well, we know what to do. Only thing, we've got to get this program of a recall system to come in, because 5 years is too long to fix something that messed up the first 6 months.
Wow.
Okay, but this government is promising. Okay, Prime Minister Davis, his choices of the cabinet is excellent. Okay, he's got warriors in there, first going off, and I'm sure he's going to put some new faces in there. It's going to encourage us youth to be more fervent and to look forward to a brighter future. And we thank God, really. It is only our God that rose up for the poor, and his promise was sure.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me share.
Sure, but okay. Thank you very much. All right, some of your messages before we go. This isn't a nice one. Some of those F&M MPs and ministers will have had short political careers. There's no coming back for plenty of them. Oh, boy, that's not nice. This one says, in regards to the building materials in Abaco, I believe that there was nobody in the previous government who had the intestinal fortitude to make a decision to have the materials given to the people, okay? This text just says, good morning, Dwight. Okay. Good morning to you, too. Good morning to you. Back to the nitpicking one, Don. They said, the nitpicking is not for you guys, Dwight. You all have been balanced from your show began. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So that's for the callers. Oh, boy. This one says here, I think Ryan Pinder will do a great job as AG. Let's hope he doesn't quit midway. His loyalty is somewhat tentative. Another one. Unfortunately, any major moves there will be decided by the entities that we have recklessly borrowed from over successive administrations. Both Alfred Sears and and Prime Minister Davis have spoken to ensuring that deriving revenue from taxing those who benefit the most in the country. I'm really interested in specifically how that happens. I'm waiting impatiently to hear who's in charge with this task via the Ministry of Finance. Yes, lots of questions on who that's going to be. This one's Who? What
is it? Perhaps.
I think it's clear it's going to be the Prime Minister. But what do I know? I don't know. We'll see. I think Ryan Pinder wasn't a smart choice, that he's an excellent tax lawyer. With all that's going on, that's what we need. And this one says, how can we as a country move forward when you bring back senior officers of the police force who completed 40 years? Are you saying that the people they've trained are incompetent? But like they say, it's a new day. My goodness gracious. Okay. I'm surprised that out of 11 picks so far, only one was a woman. Yeah, some people have been disappointed by that. But that was just the first one, the first day, and there's more expected today, but that is interesting. Indeed. This one says here, will the U.S. accept payments with the AstraZeneca vaccination? Yeah, that's a very good question, and hopefully we'll get some answers on that today or by tomorrow. And then there's still the folks who have many issues with vaccination who sent us lots of text messages today asking why aren't we talking about immunity more? And, yeah, okay. Anyway, we're going to break for news. Don, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. I know you have to run.
Yes.
We'll be back with Morning Blend Business in just a bit. You don't want to miss that. That's coming up. Stay with us.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. This morning, we are kicking off a new series here on Morning Blend Business. Once a month, we're going to be talking with the Tourism Development Corporation about tourism, still the number one industry in the Bahamas. And we're very pleased to have with us this morning the CEO and Executive Director of the Tourism Development Corporation, Janet Johnson. Good morning, Janet. Great to have you with us, as always.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be here and so excited, Dwight, about this new venture of talking tourism business.
Of course.
In this forum and co-hosting with you once a month. So pleased to be here.
It is wonderful to have you, and we definitely need to be talking more about tourism and so many exciting things that continue to happen with the industry here in the country. And this morning, we are going to be talking about the Dubai World Expo 2020. And our special guest is Senior Project Manager and Deputy Commissioner with the Bahamas Pavilion, Michael Digges. No stranger to Guardian Radio, Michael Digges. Great to have you with us here on Morning Blend Business.
Great to be back, Dwight. Wearing a different hat this morning, but yes, very pleased to be part of this national initiative.
Yeah, excellent stuff. All right, so Janet, before we get to Michael, tell us about the expo, how this came about, what this is. We know Michael used to be talking about this a lot on his show, Blueprint for Change, and this was set to be last year, 2020, but of course we know what happened. But what is this all about, and how often does this happen? Did we lose everybody?
Well, I'm here,
okay.
Dwight. If Janet has a technical challenge.
Okay, Michael.
Yeah, so expos, as you know, are these kind of similar to the Olympics. Every 5 years, a particular country is voted in to host basically a world event. And in this case, this expo of 2020 the bid was won by Dubai back in 2013, I was told.
My goodness.
And I've been involved since 2015. I was just checking my notes and I discovered, this has been quite a journey. 6 years for me. For Dubai, it's been almost 10 years. But they have basically decided that in spite of all the world challenges and of late the challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic, they still believe that the world event of Expo needs to be still showcased. And in fact, they're using this challenge, this world challenge, as a world opportunity to show the world how do we deal with our global challenges in a very effective way. And 192 countries have signed up. The Expo opens October the 1st, which is in less than 2 weeks.
Yes.
And it's in March 2022. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, they have decided that, the world needs an initiative to transform itself. And they believe that the Expo will do that. That give the world an opportunity to realize that in spite of our economic and global challenges of COVID, that there's a way to overcome that, and through industry, technology, innovation, and they're positioning themselves, and they don't apologize for this, to be the number one in the world in whatever they do. So I'm all excited to finally see the greatest show on earth, as they're calling it, come to light on October the 1st.
When was it supposed to initially start?
October of last year.
October of last year, wow.
Yeah, and as you know, that was the height of the pandemic, and they felt that it only made prudent sense to delay it for another year. Most of the participating countries agreed, and now they have managed to commit themselves to this new launch date of October the 1st. And interestingly enough, it ties into their 50th year of their jubilee. So they're really turning it into a world celebration for their own independence or national stand in the world.
So just curious, how will things change? I think we've got Janet back. Janet? Okay,
Oh, great,
excellent.
yes.
Excellent. How have things been adjusted as a result of COVID and the pandemic? I know you said they're going to focus on that, but what's changed?
I will say this, and Janet could chime in. One of the things that they have done through the use of understanding the science behind this pandemic, they have actually encouraged countries and industries to become very innovative in finding solutions. So one of the first things they've decided as a country is that vaccination is a requirement for those who are supposed to work within the pavilion. And of course, COVID testing. I think as a country, they have tested almost 70 to 80% of their population. So they're really well advanced in their vaccination program of up to 80% of their population. They have the use of biometrics and scanning technology and heat detecting technology to be able to track and monitor and trace anyone who may show signs of being infected. They have medical provisions in play. This expo site really has become their new city. So they have medical facilities provided. They have instituted space distancing even within the various pavilions and within the expo site itself. So they're very good at policing and monitoring how they see this event playing out in our current reality of this pandemic. So, Janet, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, and I think that with all that they bring to the table in technology, etc., this is so important to Dubai. And they are on the world stage and they want to do it right. They want this to be the best ever World's Fair. They've put a tremendous amount into it. I've been working on it for 5 years.
Wow.
On the project. We've been consistent. We've had tremendous leadership, and it's an amazing feat to finally be on the doorstep of the opening ceremony in 2 weeks.
I can imagine.
I just can't believe it.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a little step back. Is this the first time that we're taking part in a World Expo like this? What's our history with these?
we've participated in expos, but not the World's Fair. This is the first time that we're going to the World's Fair.
Wow.
And it was not an inexpensive proposition. It's quite a costly undertaking, but we've had a lot of help, a tremendous amount of help. And maybe Michael can expound upon that.
Sure. I mean, the initiative started 2016-17 when we engaged the University of the Bahamas students to be part of this journey. That was kind of a mandate that we were given to involve the youth because they really are the shapers of the future. And I don't know, Dwight, if you recall, we actually did a session with the university, having them design a standalone pavilion.
Right.
And that price tag came out to about $20 million. And of course, you know, it was felt that that was maybe too much of a challenge for us. So we had to revisit our kind of idea about how we wish to participate. So rather than being a self-build, we actually moved to the next category of being a rented pavilion. And we actually have, through the generosity of the expo, because they've really treated us as their favorite child, I would like to say, through our what would I say, our ambassador, you know, His Excellency Tony Jody. He's really been basically the champion as far as this whole initiative is concerned, and really positioning the Bahamas to be shown to be an example of what a small island state like the Bahamas could do on the world stage. So he's managed to, you know, get us still to be well positioned. And so we've now moved from a self-built pavilion to a rented pavilion, which in fact was built by the expo organizers for the Bahamas. It's a 7,500 square foot, 2-story building. So it's not like a kiosk or most people would think of it. It's just some place we got positioned in a corner of a big auditorium. No, it's actually a standalone building that has 2 floors. The ground floor will showcase the story of the Bahamas and really have products from the Bahamas for sale. The second floor is really, as was coined by the former Minister of Tourism, the Embassy for Business, and Janet will talk more about that. But it's really an opportunity for the Bahamas to showcase itself and to explore the investment opportunities that part of the world wants to actually encourage, because the overarching theme of this expo is connecting minds to create future.
Okay, so that's going to be one of my questions. There's so many things to ask you about, but yes, what is the overall objective then? I see texters asking the same thing. What are we really hoping to get out of this? What are the objectives there for the country?
Sure, Janet, why don't you speak to that?
Well, we're looking for, this is an opportunity for the Bahamas to be showcased not only in the Middle East, but also to the entire world. And as Michael has said, we're a small island state. We like to say it's an ocean state, and that has experienced climate change in a major way. And we are in the sustainability quadrant of this exhibit, which is, if you look at Paradise Island, the entire exhibit is about twice the size of that. And it's split up into 3 quadrants. One is opportunity, mobility, and sustainability. And we chose to be in sustainability. And so all of our exhibits speak to that. And we've got a very compelling narrative based around that. And so the bottom floor, the ground floor, is going to talk about all of those different things of living in a paradise and sort of taming the storm kind of thing. And then upstairs, as Michael said, we have the Embassy for Business. And this is where we will be business people from the Bahamas will be meeting with business people from all over the world. Now, what they've done is they've set up an app, a B2B app. And so business people from the Bahamas and their profiles will be entered into this app. We're working very closely with the Chamber of Commerce. And we've also worked with SBDC in terms of the entrepreneurs that are going to be showcasing some of their products in the pavilion for sale. And so once these profiles are put into the app for the Bahamas, then people who are interested in that particular business will be able to find them. And there's opportunities for them to be able to discuss business. So we expect that people over the 6-month period that the expo, the World's Fair, will be taking place, will wish to come to Dubai and avail themselves of the embassy for business that we have available there, or we will accommodate through Zoom meetings, etc., any sort of meetings that people in Dubai would wish to have with Bahamian stakeholders here in the Bahamas.
All right. Like I said, there's so many questions. Let me just ask this basic one. How many countries are taking part in the expo?
192.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is big.
This is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge.
This is amazing. And how many Bahamians are taking part in this over the 6 months?
Well, we don't know. We will. They will be a part of what we are doing with the apps, and then they will register with us to say whether or not they wish to attend, and we will accommodate them.
Okay.
Right. So just adding to that, Dwight, one of the things we found out, there are actually 60 Bahamians living in Dubai.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. Yeah. And a number of them are doing quite well. So we underestimate how far Bahamians are prepared to go to really play a significant role on the world stage. And Dubai is an example of that, because as a country, they're actually encouraging, people to come to Dubai. The Dubai population is interesting. They have roughly a million citizens and 9 million expats. I'm going to repeat that. They have 1 million citizens and 9 million expats.
You scare some people around here if you say that to me.
It would. But what is so fascinating about Dubai, they're very clear on the role of the citizen and the role of the expat. And so their philosophy is to encourage expats to come into Dubai, to develop industry, to partner with the Emiratis, so that together they grow and develop the economy. It's amazing, and that has been their secret to success.
And it's a great secret to witness.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, we need to take a break, but I was going to ask you where we can find pictures of the Bahamas Pavilion. We're going to talk more about that. But this Facebook page, this is where you can go and find the pictures. Is that right?
And we also have a website.
Okay.
And we're throughout social media.
Okay.
So we're well represented.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more on this, more what we can expect from the Bahamas Pavilion. We are talking about the Dubai World Expo, just a couple of weeks away for the start of this. And we've got Janet Johnson and Michael Diggins as our guests this morning. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Kiss my mama goodbye. Going back to the island, I say, don't worry, mama, don't cry.
I'll be cooking outside in the iron pot.
Boy, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day, boy.
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritty.
We need to start joking about everything, This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and junk,
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still wait there, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you, and your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
Good morning. Now, within the past hour, the morning commute has shown up like clockwork. Southwest gateways to the city, they're filling as expected. Lengthy traffic line is being formed on Glasses Road on the exit there to JFK and the Bahama roundabout area. Similar look is what we are seeing on Tamalabala Highway, getting out there on the Tony William Darling roundabout. Those dual lanes are stacked in a lengthy backup traffic already. You will join that line shortly after getting through the Fire Trail roundabout at the bottom there. Carmichael Road, the exit to Blue Hill Road, just building. So the line there to Blue Hill Road, not as extensive, and it's moving. You're not just sitting there and waiting. So far, the remainder of the island still having a slow start. We've got few delays and congestions to encounter at this point. It's an easy ride just about everywhere, with slowdowns and stops only for the traffic lights and intersections, but no other lengthy congestions or delays are evident. Inner city areas are performing well. You've got streets like Wolf Road, East Street, Mackey Street, the Palmdale area, where just traffic is moving and stopping and slowing for stop signs, and that about it. Easy ride coming in from the east along Prince Charles Drive, coming out the west along West Bay Street. JFK not crowded yet. Not even the six-leg roundabout is crowded at this point. So it's a good ride still, especially in the inner city areas for traffic at this point. This National Travel Report is the service of Dr. Danny Johnson and Associates at Foot and Ankle International. They're offering the simplest and safest treatment for painful flat feet, hammer toes, sports medicine, and more. Visit Foot and Ankle International for relief. They're located Deanston on top of the hill at Fort Charlotte. Call them at 322-5402. That's 322-5402 for more info. With your riding sky look at traffic in real time, I'm VA Double N. Back in an hour with an update.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential Loss Adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential Loss Adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance, Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau, call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
It's time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. The new Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator Michael Halkitis, saying that his ministry's first order of business will be to assess the current state of the country's finances and seek to stabilize the economy. The new ministry was announced during the official swearing-in ceremony of the first 9 cabinet ministers of the newly elected Davis administration. The ministry will encompass financial services, industry, and trade, as well as focus on improving the country's ease of doing business and digitization efforts. Halkitis says he has not yet seen the books, referring to the nation's accounts, but he says the first order of business will be to get an assessment of the state of the country's finances. Newly appointed Attorney General Ryan Pinder says he is ready to hit the ground running with advancing the country and ensuring that it has the perception of being an honest and transparent jurisdiction. Pinder was responding to questions from members of the media as to whether he would lead investigations into the procurement of government contracts issued during the COVID-19 pandemic emergency orders. Last month, Auditor General Terence Bastien revealing that the administration did not disclose the names of beneficial owners of companies that received more than $63 million of the pandemic contracts. A shipping mishap has further delayed the Grand Bahama Utility Company's completion of its reverse osmosis facility. According to the GBUC, shippers were forced to apologize for a bill of landing problem that caused some of the company's containers to miss the boat. The company confirming that 2 of the 3 containers transported from Belgium contained the utility's reverse osmosis filtration units arrived, but due to a bill of lading error on the part of the shipping company, the 3rd container was not loaded with the others. The company was advised that it was placed on a later voyage departing from Belgium that's estimated to arrive in Grand Bahama during the 2nd week of October. Last month, the company reported another shipping error, explaining in a statement that a critical filtration unit for the $5 million plant was mistakenly shipped to Belgium, and as a result will not arrive in the country until October, late September at this point. Overseas, the British government is racing to avert shortages of meat, poultry, and packaged foods amid a crisis in the food processing industry triggered by soaring energy costs. The Business Secretary, Kwesi Kwarteng, saying today that he hopes to reach a deal with the UK's primary supplier of food-grade carbon dioxide to restore supplies of the gas that's used to stun animals before slaughter, preserve fruits and vegetables before packaging them, and put the fizz in carbonated beverages. He's also in talks with CF Industries, which halted operations at its UK plants last week due to high natural gas prices. 4 small energy providers have failed in recent months, and the UK government is in talks with larger firms to ensure that gas and electricity keeps flowing to customers this winter if any other suppliers collapse. And U.S. President Joe Biden is betting on millions more rapid at-home tests to help curb the latest deadly wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, which is overloading hospitals and threatening to shutter classrooms around the U.S. But the tests have already disappeared from pharmacy shelves in many parts of the country, and manufacturers warn it will take them weeks to ramp up production after scaling it back amid plummeting demand over the summer. The latest shortage is another painful reminder that the U.S. has yet to successfully manage its COVID-19 testing arsenal, let alone deploy it in the type of systematic way needed to quickly crush outbreaks in schools, workplaces, and communities. Experts say encouraging signs last spring led to false confidence about the shrinking role for tests, falling case numbers, rising vaccination rates, and guidance from health officials that vaccinated people could largely skip testing. Officials recently reversed that advice as cases and deaths driven by the Delta variant continue to surge. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday. Your market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 1,100 shares, down 2 cents to $6.48. Cable Bahamas moving 14,225, down 15 cents to $3. Consolidated Water unchanged at $2.35. Emira Incorporated down 12 cents to $11.21. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,070.27, down 2.80. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Gotta do it. Go back to the island, boy. Let's go. Wake up early one morning, kiss my mama goodbye. Going back to the island, I say, don't worry, mama, don't cry.
We are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, and we are talking with Janet Johnson with the Tourism Development Corporation. This is part 1 of our once-a-month series with the Tourism Development Corporation, focusing on tourism in the Bahamas. And our special guest is Senior Project Manager and Deputy Commissioner of the Bahamas Pavilion for the Dubai World Expo 2020, Michael Digges. And we're having a great conversation this morning. Give us more of an idea of what we can expect at the Bahamas Pavilion. I know there had been talk about a real cultural experience as well in terms of food. Is that still happening? And junk canoe and everything Bahamian. What can people expect to visit over the next 6 months?
So, Jared will tag team on this one. So I think it's important for the listening audience to realize that this is an opportunity for the Bahamas to tell its story. And I think Janet alluded to that earlier when she was referencing the fact that, we are in the sustainable quadrant. And so sustainability is the focus of telling that story. The fact that, climate change is such a significant impact on us as an island state, with Hurricane Dorian and its impact on our two major islands. What we were able to realize, and we thought because of that devastation, we ought to maybe not focus on that. But Dubai said, no, that's exactly the reason why we need to be on the world stage and tell the story. How does a small island state survive and sustain itself in spite of its challenges through natural disasters and climate as a result of climate change? And so I think sometimes we underestimate ourselves as Bahamians and our level of resiliency, and the fact that others are looking to us to understand how do we overcome our challenges. And I think as we begin to tell that story about our ability to overcome our challenges and sustain ourselves, it becomes an important point of reference to others to learn from our kind of lessons. And doesn't mean that the Bahamas is where it needs to be, but at least it gives us an opportunity to ground ourselves in resilience and then take ours. Now, what do we do? It really is the question we ought to be asking ourselves as a country and tell the world. In spite of these challenges, we're still going to grow our industries. We're still going to become the number one in tourism. We're still going to develop our agriculture and sea and marine life. And this is where we ought to really determine for ourselves, like Dubai has done. They say they want to be number one in these things. We ought to be saying the same thing. We're going to be number one in what we believe are natural advantages that we have in this archipelago. Janet, do you want to expand on that?
Do we lose Janet again?
We could go to an expo, Dwight, and we could put up pretty pictures. But like Michael has said, Dubai said to us, you've experienced the worst hurricane ever. That is a story that needs to be told. And, this is the forum to do that. And we need to embrace that and embrace what it is that we have. Years ago, in tourism, we used to have a weather conference. We started that brand. We built that brand. It was an amazing brand that was coveted by other countries in the region. And we let it go. We need to bring it back. We see other areas in the region trying to to embrace and take the lead on the knowledge quadrant, and we own that. The Bahamas own that with the weather conference, and we started the weather conference because of the fact that we're an archipelago, and if a storm was happening in Inagua, it didn't mean that the citizens in Nassau or New Providence were being affected.
Right.
So it was a tremendous geography lesson, and we made great strides, and we certainly achieved our objective. But it could have grown to other things, and it would be so wonderful to be able to bring that brand back, and to own that space. And now, having taking this to the World's Fair, I think it gives us another opportunity to be able to come back and own that space again.
Right. So with the cultural aspect of it, what can you tell us about that, and what will be on showcase there?
Well, we have on the 17th of January 2022, sounds a long way away.
Right.
We have a national day. And on the national day, that is when the Bahamas will be spotlighted. So all of the countries at the expo will be focused on the Bahamas and the cultural expression that we decide to share with the world. And so we're working with the Ministry of Culture on a display on what it is that we want to share and put out there. And we trust that it'll be as impressive as it has always been. I think about the Smithsonian, when the Bahamas went to the Smithsonian. This is very similar. We hope to see something on that scale at the World Expo. And Michael talked about our positioning at Expo. The Bahamas is positioned on a main thoroughfare, and so in the sustainability quadrant. And so we can see, we can envision the parades, etc., just going by our pavilion. The pavilion itself, Michael can talk about. He should be very proud of what's been created with the images that we've been able to secure. We've transformed a 7,500 square foot building, refitted it, and with Bahamian art and images, and it's something to behold. We're very, very proud of all the work that we've done.
Yeah, Michael, tell us more about that, and then we're going to talk about the support that you're getting.
Sure.
Who else is involved in this? But tell us more about it.
So I was saying earlier that the expo organizers, in their desire to ensure that the Bahamas still maintains a presence in spite of our challenges, they built the 7,500 square foot building, two-story building for us, and then they left it up to us to fit it out and dress it up, so to speak. So one of the effective tools we used was the imagery of our national festival, Jump Canoe. And it was, I found it fascinating that we selected images of Jump Canoe and actually have them placed on the outer skin of the building. So you have like full-size images of Jump Canoe characters, some of which you recognize, and then the underwater scene of the Bahamas. And we thought that, it'll be nice to do that. Lo and behold, when that was done and the images were placed on the pavilion, Ambassador and I had an opportunity to travel in May of this year just to see what was happening. And the response we were getting about the vibrancy and the color and the excitement of the images, most people started to pay attention to, well, who is this? What pavilion does this represent? And which country is this? Because you have to recognize, in that part of the world, the Bahamas is not known very much. I mean, the first time we presented at the one of the annual international participants meeting, after we presented and the University of the Bahamas students presented, most people said, well, we didn't even know that the Bahamas existed, and they thought it was part of the United States. So we had to go through explaining to them what the Bahamas was and the fact that it is a set of islands. But the imagery and the life and the color, we take for granted again the power that has in affecting how other people see us. And so I think we really ought to celebrate the things that really make us unique and distinctive. And our Jump Canoe expression is one of those things that no matter which part of the world you come from, people pay attention to what we do. And so people are paying attention to the Bahamas Pavilion simply because we've added the imagery of the Bahamas on the skin of the pavilion. And that to me speaks volumes. It's just up to us now to take that, leverage that, and really become the significant player in the world that we ought to be.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. So you've got a lot of partners to help this come to fruition. Tell us about that and the roles they're playing, and if people are interested in being a part of this, what they need to do as well.
So I'll speak to some of these sponsors, and Janet could expand on how people could get more involved. So we partnered with the University of the Bahamas from the beginning, and then we had Ministry of Tourism, of course, and then we've reached out to Cable Bahamas and Alive, and they've been a major sponsor for us, and also Garnet Bank. So we do have those major strategic partners who have helped to fund this initiative from the time we started until now. And of course, the government of the Bahamas is also committed to financially supporting us. Janet, I'll let you take it from there.
Yes. So if we have anyone out there and who's interested in becoming a sponsor, then they can get in touch with me or Michael, and they can view us online on our website, which is Bahamas Pavilion with 2 L's.com. And they can also look at our social media footprint. But we are looking to work with partners. We're delighted that the government has been supportive of this. And we intend to make a big splash on the world stage for a tiny little country. As Michael said, people are talking about us. We don't have the $55 million self-build exhibits and pavilions that New Zealand and Switzerland and China and Sweden and all those other countries have. But our 7,500 square feet of a building has really made a tremendous impact. And we're very, very excited about the prospects for the 6 months at the World's Fair. And we hope that Bahamians will embrace this opportunity and look to see what is available for them in a new arena where we haven't tested before.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke about the fact that we've been at this. Michael said he has for 6 years. I've been at it for 5 years. And you don't commit that kind of time and energy to something that you don't think it's going to be successful. So this is going to be a tremendous success. The next expo is going to be in Japan. Will the Bahamas be at that expo? We don't know. But we intend to make sure that this expo is very impactful. We need it here in the Bahamas, as do most countries throughout the world. And we're just so pleased to be on the world stage at this time, and to be open to the opportunities. And we hope that Bahamians will embrace this, will look at this, will want to travel, will want to see it, will want to look to expand their businesses and get in touch with us and see how they can become a player.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk more about that. How do you do that? If you are interested, you want to find out what the opportunities are, specifically, how do you make that happen?
Well, they can contact us. We have an office here. We operate out of an office on Village Road South at the Village Green. So we can post that. You can go to our website and contact us from there. You can get in touch with me at the Tourism Development Corporation through my email address, which is janet@tdcbahamas.com, or you can call me on my cell. You can reach out to Michael as well. But we are available. We're here to talk about it, and we want Bahamians to get involved. I mean, we had an opportunity for fashionistas to participate, and one of the designers in Dubai was looking. On the organizing committee was looking to create a T-shirt for the World's Fair, and I believe we were able to get two of our designers to work with them, Theo and David Rowe. So that's happening. When the event was extended, it was fortuitous because what they did was they created thematic weeks, and we looked within our small little country and found some really dynamic speakers. So we were able to participate in those thematic weeks where we had Bahamians presenting in their area of expertise on the world stage, and so all of that content is now in Expo 2020dubai.com of what we've done and what we've contributed, and it's been amazing. And we're very grateful to everyone who's helped to get us to this point.
All right, so now people want to know how can I get to Dubai and be a part of this, to be a part of the Bahamas Pavilion, or and if so, how and when? Is that something? Is that an opportunity there?
Well, we went through an extensive vetting process for the retail goods that are going to be presented at Expo, and everything that was sent had to be approved. The organizers sent a container to the Bahamas, which we had to load up. It took like 45 to 60 days to get there. And so what we're doing is it's been unpacked, and now we're going to populate the pavilion with all of the goods that we have, and to complete the installations for the exhibits. So, it's not something where you can show up. It's all been very well structured and organized, and Dubai has to approve every single thing that happens at the expo.
Okay.
And so even for Bahamians living in Dubai that are keen to work with us and that want to come and volunteer, there are strict rules that may not be allowed. Because this is a working expo, and their work permits don't allow it.
Okay.
So they will have to come in as visitors as well.
Okay.
In that sense, yes.
All right,
this is something that we're not accustomed to. But,
Sure. Wow.
But they're very, very strict.
Okay. All right. We're going to take our final break. When we come back, we've got a few questions coming in, text messages, and you can text us, continue to text us on 422-4796. This is Morning Blend Business. We are talking about Dubai World Expo 2020 and the Bahamas Pavilion. And Janet Johnson and Michael Diggins are our guests. We'll be back after this.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite something. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these tips. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never pay to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
And we've got your quick final check of weather for this morning. We've got that moist and unstable air mass, along with troughing north of the area that will continue to produce showers and thunderstorms and elevate rain chances for the next couple of days. Meanwhile, high pressure will maintain gentle to moderate winds across the islands. For today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, look for partly cloudy and humid conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, which could be heavy at times. Heavy to strong to severe at times today. For the southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, hot, and humid with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Mainly fair and warm tonight with passing showers possible. High temperatures getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index in the triple digits again, 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. And we're expecting the rich tropical moisture environment to continue for the next few days with elevated rain chances and swells generated by Tropical Storm Peter, which will pass to the east of the area, but will still begin to affect the islands with these swells beginning tomorrow. Boaters and beachgoers should exercise caution. The tropics are very active. We're watching 4 areas, Peter and Rose and the remnants of Odette, but another wave that we need to pay attention to, which could be an issue by the end of the week or early next week. That's your Morning Blend weather check. And we are back here with our final couple of minutes of Morning Blend business on this Tuesday morning. We are talking with Janet Johnson and Michael Digges about Dubai World Expo 2020 and Bahamas Pavilion. You all are going to be heading out to Dubai soon, I take it?
Yes, we are. And Dwight, just to add to what the question you asked about how people can get involved, it would be good if business people could contact the chamber and come through that avenue. They will then send us their details and we can add them to the app. And for the retail section the artisans and that we worked with, our partner was SBDC. And so the vetting and all of that process and the preparation for them to be able to scale, to be able to participate in the opportunity was all coordinated through SBDC, okay, who was our partner.
Wonderful stuff. And Michael, it feels like you've been talking about this for a decade almost, but here it is finally, and after that delay. But what are you feeling right now? What's going through your head?
Well, I will just tell you one of the things that we've discussed internally is, we need to write the story of this journey, because I think people don't always have an appreciation for the work and challenges that you face putting on a national initiative such as this expo that the Bahamas Pavilion is a part of. And I think we've committed ourselves to telling that story. So it's really delightful to now see that we've moved from all of the planning, however challenging that may have been, to now an opening date, to now the actual expo being unveiled, and we're going to be part of it. I will tell you, a lot of people didn't think we would have survived, but we did. And I think that in itself speaks to our level of resiliency in spite of the challenges that we face as a country and as individuals. So, yeah, I'm pleased and humbled to have been asked to participate and to now see it come to fruition. Yeah, it's a joy. And because the expo speak about legacy, I think the Bahamas now has an opportunity to develop a legacy for future generations, to know that we were on the world stage in 2021 in spite of the challenges, and the Bahamas was able to showcase to the world how we do what we do, and then therefore how do we leverage that for future growth and development of our country. So that's what excites me about it.
Yeah, and the fact that it was an all volunteer team, a small core group of people that made the commitment 5 years ago, and committed to meeting every single week. That's what it's taken. And so when the story is told, and we intend to do that, it's somebody coined the phrase, I think it was the ambassador, against all odds, we're here. And it's very exciting to see.
Great stuff.
Bahamas strong, right, Janet? Bahamas strong.
Bahamas strong.
Great stuff. One more time, give us the website and the information for people to get more, to learn more about this Bahamas Pavilion and about the expo in general.
Bahamas Pavilion with 2 L's .com.
Okay.
And you'll find a wealth of information.
Very exciting. And for next month, Janet, you're going to be joining us from Dubai, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do the show from Dubai. So it'll be Michael and I again, and Ambassador.
All right.
And we'll be talking to you from there.
Excellent.
After the opening, which is intended to be so spectacular.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Have a safe trip and keep us posted. And Janet Johnson and Michael Digges. Wonderful, exciting things happening. And again, this is the Expo 2020, Dubai World Expo 2020, getting underway next month. And that is it for Morning Blend Business for this morning. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more and more Morning Blend. Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.